In my last video, I covered the topic of speculative evolution, where artists imagine new forms of life based on scientific principles. And while that video focused specifically on books, there is also a lot of great speculative biology out there in other media. One of the best places to find it is a website called Astrovitae. It's a free online magazine showcasing the work of a wide variety of artists who all share an interest in speculative biology. Astrovitae is run by two people, who I've linked in the description below, so make sure to check out their work if you get the chance. I first became aware of Astrovitae when one of my subscribers alerted me to the fact that they were featuring a speculative project based on my own research, and I've been a fan ever since. So this video will serve as an overview of Astrovitae, covering some of the amazing projects they have published as well as giving you a taste of some of the other cool things they have planned for the future. And if you enjoy this video, be sure to let me know because there are plenty of other speculative biology magazines and websites out there that I would love to cover in the future. Let's get into it. Okay, so before we talk about any specific projects, let's talk about Astrovitae as a whole. As I mentioned earlier, it's an online magazine, which means that it's free to access. This is something I really appreciate about Astrophyte. A lot of speculative biology projects take a long time to create and deserve to be seen by as many people as possible. And I think that making it freely available online is the best way to do this. Now, they do occasionally have special limited edition hard copies of some of their projects, but even these are usually priced very reasonably. The main purpose of Astrovitae is to showcase speculative biology projects, which they do in a number of different ways. They have a section on their website called the Arboretum, which is essentially their main gallery space. Each entry in the Arboretum is its own little mini website with background information on the project, concept art, and sometimes even interactive elements. There's also an area of the site called the Greenhouse, which features works in progress, which is cool to see. But probably the best way to experience a project from Astrovitae is through their podcast. In each episode, they interview the artist behind a single project, asking them questions about their creative process, and allowing the artist to talk more about their work than they might otherwise have the chance to do. And once an episode has been released, it gets added to the Arboretum for people to check out at their leisure. Okay, so now that we've established what Astrovitae is, let's talk about some of the amazing projects they have featured. First up, we have Pterogenesis by Ahimsa, which I believe is the project that my subscriber was referring to when they let me know about Astrovitae in the first place. Pterogenesis is a wonderfully illustrated world that takes the player through a series of environmental challenges and tasks them with creating a self-sustaining ecosystem. The art style is super cute, and the project is well laid out. Next up, we have Bone Orchard by Claire Wendling, which is actually a full-length novel that was originally posted online. Bone Orchard is set on a fantasy version of Mars and follows the story of a scavenger who discovers the fossil of a strange creature and sets off on an adventure to learn more about it. From what I can tell, Bone Orchard started out as a side project for Claire, who is better known for her work as an illustrator. But it grew to be so large that she decided to publish it as a full-length novel. And I am so glad that she did, because the writing is fantastic. When I read Bone Orchard, I felt like it captured a similar feeling to the Half as Interesting podcast, which is exactly what I was looking for. Also, just look at the beautiful illustrations that Claire did for it. Another one of my personal favorites on the site is Pharyngeal by Mock Duck. Mock Duck is a writer and artist who is definitely worth checking out. They have a few projects on Astrovitae, but Pharyngeal is my favorite. It reimagines a world where the most dangerous predator is a massive eel-like creature with jaws that allow it to swallow prey whole. And the world's entire ecosystem has evolved around the threat it poses. What I like about Pharyngeal is the creativity on display. Like, sure, you can imagine a giant monster and draw a picture of it, but to truly succeed, speculative biology requires thinking like a biologist. If you want your world to be believable, you need to consider how its inhabitants adapt, not just to their environment, but to each other as well. and pharyngeal does this really well. The creatures of pharyngeal are all interesting and unique, and I love the way that they are presented. But speaking of unique and interesting creatures, we can't talk about Astrovitae without mentioning Critters by Katie Scott and Rowan Macaulay. These two already have a large following thanks to their social media presence, and their work has been featured in several popular books, including Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. So I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with their work already. Nevertheless, Critters is a fantastic example of speculative biology done right. The book features a huge amount of original species and is beautifully illustrated. My only complaint is that I wish there were more of it. There's a sequel, but it hasn't come out yet. But thankfully, Astrovitae published a bonus chapter that acts as a nice little bridge between the two books. Moving away from Critters for a minute, we can talk about Adaptations by Jackson Lansing. This is a project that I personally worked on alongside Jackson, and it was my first foray into speculative biology. So I'm obviously a bit biased when I say that it's cool, but honestly, I think it turned out really well. The project imagines what might happen if certain extinct animals were still around today, and it includes some genuinely fascinating insights into the science of de-extinction. Unlike a lot of projects on this list, Adaptations wasn't made to be a standalone thing. Instead, it was intended as an educational tool to supplement the teaching of evolutionary biology. But it has since grown into its own thing and is being used for all kinds of stuff, such as inspiring fan art and even informing the work of actual scientists. It's kind of surreal for me to see something that I helped work on displayed alongside some of the other projects on this list, and I feel very honored to be included. Okay, so those are just a few of the many amazing projects hosted on Astrovitae. I highly recommend going to their website and checking out some of their work. One thing I want to point out before we end this video is that Astrovitae is currently running a fundraiser to help them continue making their projects. I've already donated what I can, but if you're able to chip in a few bucks, I'm sure they would greatly appreciate it. I'll link their fundraiser in the description below. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning more about Astrovitae. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, subscribe so you don't miss them when they come out. Thanks for watching. See ya.